Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our little role play experiment. And in the last first two parts of the series, we created a brand new player, Henry Marshall, and we're going to follow his career and give some, imaginary background as to what's going on. He's 15 years old, and now he has interest from clubs. He has interest from Chicago, Columbus, DC United, San Jose, and Vancouver. Minor interest from second division club Bordeaux in France. Bordeaux had been relegated at the end of the season. They're now in League Two. They want to climb back up and get promoted. And it's currently believed that his preferred move of choice could well be DC United. Um, he really doesn't really know much about any of these clubs. Why he likes DC United. Merely just a Hunter Alvarez said that he had some good conversations with DC United, and Henry is thinking about DC United. He really just wants to get signed. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to kind of zoom forward, I don't know, maybe 3 days at a time, and just see if this list changes a little bit. It might, and I've got right now the speed of this game is about that 3.5, so there'll be a little bit of cutting in this video. We'll cut out all the boring parts of it, just kind of keep going until we get to see which teams come in, which teams drop out of this list. And we'll look here. And one thing that we forgot to do is refresh shortlist. That way we don't have to keep looking up looking at the database all the time. There he is again. Henry Marshall, same old, same old. Something has already happened. Someone has made a bid for him. And we're going to transfer. DC United has now officially made a bid for him on a free transfer. Looks like Columbus has dropped out of the running. Bordeaux is still there. They're DC already in contract talks. They want this kid. DC right now. Let's take a look again at DC United. They are at the bottom of the table in the Eastern Conference, only 7 points, the worst team in the MLS. So as Hunter Alvarez tells Henry, look, there's not a whole lot of pressure on you here. I mean, if you succeed, it's great. If you don't succeed, well, you really can't hurt the team all that much. So we'll come back to you when this list changes or when a club actually signs him. I myself didn't think he would be signed that quickly. And as we can see at this screen, the San Jose has now dropped out of the running. Henry is expected to make his contract decision in a few days' time. His parents didn't really think that it was going to ever happen this quickly. And really, neither did his agent, or neither did he. So he's thinking, okay, well, if nobody's going to step up, and I already like DC United, why not just go ahead and sign for them? 29th, and Seattle has now entered the sweepstakes. They've come running. And Hunter tells Harry that if you get signed, it's going to be a senior, what they call a senior type of contract. We'll explain that. Odds are it's a kind of a contract that's generally for the 21st, 24th player level on the team. He'll probably receive about $82,000 a year, somewhere in that area. If he does get signed by an MLS team, we'll look at that contract a little bit more closely. And now we can actually see that he has been signed by DC United. In the end, Chicago Fire came in. They offered a trial offer for him. But now Marshall has accepted the DC United offer. He rejected the offer of a trial with Chicago. They are his first club. We'll go ahead and look at him in the roster. There he is, number 18. He's on a senior minimum salary contract. And taking a look at the terms of his contract, which we can, if we can find it. There it is. $84,000 a year, which is what Hunter told him. It is a two and a half, basically a 2.5 year contract. And we'll take a look at what's going on with DC United, what kind of club this is. DC United, as we saw, is at the very bottom of the Eastern Conference. No, there they are. No pressure there. Head coach Wayne Rooney, and I don't like how the game, they don't give you. You have to go and find all these little head pack, little picture packs for. I'm sure a lot of players know who Wayne Rooney is. 36 years old, very very famous soccer player. The captain is Steve Birdbaum, 31 years old. We have Matthijs Clich, who is sort of a key player for them. We'll go over all the key players here. Tactics for the squad, 4-2-3-1. So probably Henry's going to fit somewhere in here where Canoes and Durkin are playing. The players listed the senior squad. There we are. And I know what selection info I want. General info, because this will show me sort of where the players are actually slotted on the team. And here we go. And it gives you a good idea of how good the players are. Kitsch is the star of the team out of Poland. Tatsy Fantas and Christian Benteke. They're important players. And way down here somewhere should be Henry Marshall. He's already considered to be a possible squad player. He'll be a competitor because the team is garbage, and he will earn plenty of playing time over the course of the season. So he's just going to be dropped right in there. I've played around with the player creation before, and I think this is the first time that I've had a player end up with starting out at such a high position, even though for poor MLS teams. Transfer value is $3.1 million, $9.2 million, $84,000 a year. Let's look at ages on this team. He is clearly the youngest player on this team, but there's Matal Akinlabone. There is Christian Fletcher. There's Jackson Hopkins, all 16-year-old players. Got some 17. There's even the 19-year-old Jeremy Gray. So there are young players. Probably one of the reasons that he was attracted to this team, is that there are young players actually on the roster. He feels like he actually has a chance to compete for playing time. So before we actually start seeing which kind of games our new guy Henry Marshall appears in, let's take a look at some of the people that are going to be important in Henry Marshall's life. And of course, we've got to talk about Wayne Rooney. As you can see, his head is missing here, but that's okay. We will just simply add a picture. And if you don't know who Wayne Rooney is, he is England football royalty. He was a former DC United player, and now he's a DC United manager as of, this game. Now, the earlier start date up here has taken us to May 30th, and this changes history a little bit because Rooney wasn't the manager of DC United until July of 2022. We don't have a lot of history to look at here. If you try to look at the head coach history, you just find Rooney there. You don't find anybody else. And if you look at Major League Soccer, so what's the situation of DC United? Well, we'll try to get some sort of a team detail here. If you look at the finances of the various MLS teams, you will find that most of these clubs are listed as rich, but there are some clubs that are just listed as secure. Columbus, the LA Galaxy, Real Salt Lake, and DC United. So they're financially they're financially a step down. In total salary, however, they're actually fifth. They have the fifth highest budget in the MLS here. Now, Wayne Rooney, getting back to Wayne, he comes from a stint at EFL Championship club Derby County, where he barely managed to avoid relegation there. But the financial and leadership situation of Derby County made it unlikely for really anybody but Superman to succeed there. So Rooney's really hoping things are going to be better in the United States for him. He has a lot of trust generally in young players that we've never seen him give that trust to anybody as young as Henry Marshall. Whether Marshall's going to play or not, that's going to be it's going to be really up to Rooney. But certainly he knows that something has to be done to shake things up at this moribund club, and he clearly wants to win now. As you can see, the fairly ambitious. He's going to be an enforcer on the club. Nobody's going to be above a chewing out by Rooney, and that extends to this man right here, Steven Birnbaum. Now, Birnbaum is the capital, torn knee ligaments, so he's suffering a little bit. He's actually out for a few months here. Steven Birnbaum, he is the captain of DC United, and he's been with the club since 2014. And he is in a central defender role right here. Birnbaum has a history of concussions, which is it's a bit worrisome. But supposedly, Birnbaum and his wife are very friendly with Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney actually came to the U.S. alone to DC United. He left his wife in England behind him. Now, there's some people in the DC United fan base that claim he's kind of old and washed up right now at age 31. His average rating is 6.77. It's okay. It could certainly be better. Birnbaum hasn't really won any major awards. If you look at his history page, let me see if we can get a biography of this guy here. You can get a biography right here. No major real awards in his life, but his friendship with Wayne Rooney and his diplomatic manner as captain that might help ensure his survival at a struggling club like DC United. And now I'm going to choose. Look at this guy. I think I pronounced his name wrong. Mateus Click. Click is his name. Click is a 31-year-old key player. He's the key player for DC United. He's a Polish attacking midfielder who has played 15 years in Europe, and he has just come to DC from Leeds. Leeds is a club he'd been playing with as early as 2017. He was actually in the Championship League. Leeds was in the Championship League when he came to Leeds, and he was part of the 2019-2020 team that got Leeds promoted back into the Premier League. Click is a relentless performer. He has a special skill in angering opponents. Rumor has it, that coming from playing all the games at Leeds and for the Polish national team, where he won 40, he has 40 caps from the Polish national team. Word on the street is he's a bit spent. We've got only one appearance in the MLS so far this year. He's smart, though. He has a great feel for the game, but he's just not really good enough anymore to play in the Premier League. Now, as a side note, Click isn't just a footballer, he is also a talented graffiti artist. Take a look at one of these works at Ellen Road here. Put it up on the screen. Yeah, not bad. He did that. He did that all himself. So clearly he's a smart, well put together guy here. And we'll be talking about other players, on DC United if Henry hangs around here. We can't do everybody. We don't have 400 hours of time here, but we just thought we'd give you a little of an impression of what's going on here. So let's at least get a few games from DC United. Let's see who they have playing. And right now we have uh, New York City coming up, Chicago coming up, and Nashville coming up. I've got my Henry is shortlisted. Don't know why the screen is flashing like that. Um, let's instead look at our schedule right here. New York City, Chicago, Nashville coming. It's actually coming up pretty quickly on June the 4th. We'll go to our inbox, we'll go to our social feed, set up a few things, we'll manage a few things. We're going to remove a lot of these notifications. We don't need to follow any foreign leagues right now, not even the Premier League or the Mexican League or the Championship League. Get rid of all these minor leagues that we don't care about. Keep an eye out on the awards here. And let's confirm that and let's add DC United. That didn't work. Maybe you find it that way. There we go. DC United. Like that up. Let's follow it. Let's manage our guys here again, and we'll make it extensive. From that, so this should give us all the information we need to have. Okay. When was that game again? It was going to be on the 4th. You're giving me some trouble here. It's going to be on the 4th. And let's see if we can. Here it goes. I'll skip ahead. I'll keep you let you know if there's anything that actually happens. Okay, get ready to face New York City, slight underdogs in this game. News, actually, it looks like Click is out on international duty, so we're going to be out with a few guys. Does Henry get his chance in this game? We'll see. Marshall makes professional debut. Oh, look at all that's happened. First, an injury blow, twisted his ankle, and now he is out for 5 weeks. That has got to have absolutely crushed him. Take a look. Injury, bad injury for him. Out 3 to 6 weeks. So, yeah, I'm sure everybody's, saying we told you so. They're all, kicking themselves right now. New York eased to victory. How much time did he get in this game? Did he get any time at all? New York City, DC United. Marshall had a 6-5. Do we know when he came in? Do we know when he came out? Let's see. Marshall. In the 66th minute, out the 84th minute. He got 18 minutes, one cross, one interception, one aerial, slightly below average game here. He made his professional debut. He was watched by his family, so everyone came to watch this game. Wayne, Rooney said, pass the word. You're going to play in this game. Given a rapturous ovation, but he wonders whether or not his career is just going to last for 18 minutes or not. Cushing on Rooney, Wayne Rooney reacted rather provocatively to questions about losing you today. How do you react to that? I'm not interested in these juvenile charades. So there's some beef right away. Rooney very mad, can't get the basics right. So the game ends in a defeat. Another defeat for DC United. And in addition, there's going to be a lot of time that Henry Marshall sits on the disabled out for 5 weeks, seeing the physio. This is probably a good time to stop, ends with the he gets 18 minutes, manages to keep his head out there, but an ankle injury takes him out in his very first game. So hopefully this is not the shape of things to come. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And if you hear anything that you like, please like and subscribe. Take care. Goodbye.